Think back a couple of days to Monday. Dozens of people injured by an explosion at the finish line of the Boston Marathon. Some of them were knocked from their feet, others were wandering around, gripping their wounds, confused and frightened. Would you know what to do if you found yourself in a similar situation? Casey Sears is here from NorthStar EMS to tell me more. Casey, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And just such an awful, awful thing that happened on Monday. And our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Boston right now. And I hate to sound alarmist, but you never know when something's going to happen. And it doesn't have to be something like that. It could be a car accident that you drive past on the interstate or something.
Absolutely.
What do we need to look for and what do we need to do?
Well, the first thing that needs to happen in any situation is to go ahead and activate the EMS system. Of course, by calling 911 or having someone there call 911. The other thing, and of course, if you're concerned enough to go help, and we hope that you do, you need to make sure that the scene is safe. You're no good to anybody if you yourself get hurt in the process.
Gotcha.
So that's the biggest thing is make sure that you yourself are safe.
So I guess that's basically a common sense judgment call.
Yeah,
if things are on fire, you may not, you know.
But you'd be surprised in the heat of the moment. That might not be the first thing that you're thinking about.
Right.
And then, of course, ABCs, we've all heard that. You want to make sure that their airway's open and that they're breathing good. And then, you know, address any immediate life threats, which, unfortunately, in the case of Boston, was severe bleeding.
Right. That's what we kept seeing over and over again because the explosion and the shrapnel and
unfortunately,
I don't want to be too graphic with it, but
we've all seen the pictures, and they were hard to look at.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Now you brought some. This looks like a pad, and this looks like some gauze, and I'm guessing these are things that would be in a standard first aid
right,
kit,
those
correct?
would be, these are pretty standard in any first aid kit that you might find. And of course, you're probably not likely to have those if you're coming up on a car wreck or in some other situation. But the process is all the same.
Okay.
And the first thing that you want to do is apply direct pressure to the wound.
And that's something you could do with a T-shirt.
A T-shirt, a towel, cloth of any kind. That is the first thing that needs to happen.
And so I'm guessing you would use this pad for that.
Yeah, you could. You could use that pad, gauze if you had it. More than likely, it's going to be something that you have more readily available, like a T-shirt.
Gotcha.
The things to consider is keep the direct pressure on it, and if the blood soaks through, don't remove it.
Really?
Add more cloth, more direct pressure as you need it. Removing it only encourages the wound to continue bleeding.
Because I guess what we're trying to do is to get it to
slow
clot.
down. That's right.
Stop.
And if it's not clotting appropriately, of course, it's not going to stop. Gotcha. So those are the two big things. And if that's not going to work, you know, in the field we would use a tourniquet. And that's kind of as a last resort. And in the case of Boston, unfortunately, that was the last resort that many people had to go to. But hopefully, in short order, you'll have 911 and EMS and the firemen and the cavalry will come help. But in the immediate, direct pressure, elevation of the limb,
right,
and then as a last resort again. Tourniquet.
A tourniquet. And a tourniquet would be, say I'm bleeding here, I would want to tighten some cloth or gauze or whatever up here.
Right. You want the pressure, as far away from the wound, as high as you can get it, and as tight as you can get it.
Hopefully cut off the flow of blood completely, right?
Of course, that's the ultimate goal, but hopefully it doesn't quite get to that level. But direct pressure and elevation are the two main things that you can do in that situation.
Gotcha. But first off, make sure you're safe and the scene is safe. Casey, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
You can find out more about NorthStar by calling 205-345-0911 or online at northstar-ems.com.